A moment earlier, Toriko had been a muscular powerhouse, but the moment he stepped out of the nutrient solution, his body rapidly shrank. Like a punctured balloon, he hurriedly took a bite of an apple. The gourmet cells inside his body were instantly activated. As Toriko continued eating, his shriveled muscles gradually returned to normal. Just as he was devouring food, the regeneration seed implanted in his severed arm suddenly sprouted. For ordinary people, such a seed would take years to germinate, but inside Toriko's body, it took only a very short time. Soon, Toriko finished all the food, but he was still extremely hungry. All the nutrients he consumed were being absorbed by the regeneration seed. Without sufficient nutrition, Yusaku immediately had more food prepared. Toriko continued eating for a long time, yet his hunger never eased. Exhausted, Toriko was about to lie back in the nutrient solution to rest. Suddenly, he spat out a mouthful of thick phlegm. Immediately afterward, his entire body was overwhelmed by intense pain. Everyone showed expressions of shock, but Yusaku said this was a normal reaction. The severed arm was growing back at an incredible rate. The severe pain was merely a side effect of the regeneration process. To lessen Toriko's suffering, Yusaku prepared some pain-relieving honey. Whether he could endure this ordeal depended entirely on Toriko's own willpower. His severed arm was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye, but the pain-relieving honey was quickly used up. Everyone immediately headed to the grasslands to capture more pain relief bees. Toriko trembled from the agony. He was nearly unable to hold on. Fortunately, everyone returned in time with more honey. Meanwhile, Komatsu was trying to recreate century soup. He had already conducted thousands of experiments, yet he still could not reproduce the ancient flavor. He sought advice from Granny Setsuno, only to learn that she had spent 30 years creating a replica of century soup. Komatsu was deeply discouraged, but after tasting the kelp soup he had made, Granny Setsuno told him that he was only one step away. He needed to listen carefully to the voices of the ingredients and learn to communicate with them. Komatsu suddenly understood. He immediately rushed back to the kitchen to continue experimenting. Granny Setsuno sighed with admiration. The progress Komatsu had achieved in 3 days had taken her a full 2 years to accomplish. After returning to the kitchen, Komatsu followed her guidance and communicated with the ingredients. He approached every step with exceptional care. After simmering the soup for 2.5 hours, he produced a bowl of clear and transparent broth. After taking a sip, overwhelming sense of happiness surged through him, but he immediately realized that the soup was still missing one final ingredient. As he struggled to figure it out, his pet penguin suddenly became unusually excited. Komatsu assumed the penguin was hungry. He placed the soup on the floor. The moment the penguin saw the soup, it began drooling uncontrollably. However, the instant a drop of its saliva fell into the soup, something miraculous happened. The true century soup was finally born. Komatsu took a sip. A look of pure ecstasy appeared on his face. He had finally recreated the ancient century soup. At the same time, Toriko awoke from unconsciousness. He gasped for air, then looked down and discovered that his severed arm had completely regrown. Toriko was overjoyed. Even though they were separated by thousands of miles, the gourmet cells inside his body told him that Komatsu had successfully completed century soup.